Hey everyone, it's Deb Floros. I'm here on behalf of SilverSilk, and I'm sharing a new video today with you. This is sort of related to a little collaboration that Nilay Patel and I have called the 10 Jewelry Making Mantras to Live By. And if you're not familiar with the 10 Jewelry Making Mantras, they are all about helping you with your creativity. So if you've got a little bit of a creative block, or maybe you just need to stretch your creative wings, maybe you just want to try a little bit of something new, challenge yourself to go out of your comfort zone, these 10 jewelry making mantras are for you. So I think these work for people that are very experienced jewelry makers and also for people who are brand new. And this particular video, I think, will work for everyone. So how can you learn about the other jewelry making mantras? So to find out about all 10, the presentation is available on the SilverSilk website. So if you scroll all the way down on the home page, you'll find a link to SilverSilk Education. Click on that and you'll find the 10 jewelry making mantras and all the pictures, everything you need to know about the mantras. All of the videos that we've recorded are available on the SilverSilk YouTube page and also on the SilverSilk Facebook page. So you can go and binge watch them all. This is video number 8, and I'm excited about this one. This one is called Mix Your Metals. And I have to do a true confession here. I've never, well, I'll say I haven't always been comfortable with mixed metals. I'm much more comfortable now. In fact, I think I'm fully embracing it now. But back when I first started making jewelry, I went to extreme lengths to try and make sure that every metal was the same color. And that's really difficult. So it would make me a little bit stressed out and make jewelry making not fun. So I'll just show you an example. So metals, even metals that are the same color, so to speak, can be very different. So gold. Here's a version of gold. Here's a version of gold. Next to each other, different golds. So even in the gold family, it's difficult to match your golds exactly. It's difficult to match your metals exactly. So mixed metals kind of takes the pressure off. I'm just saying. It takes the pressure off. And when you embrace the idea of pulling in metals from different families, pulling silvers and golds together, coppers and silvers together, all of the above together, you can come up with something really fun and unique. So I'm going to share with you a project that I created for the mantra presentation. So if you go into the website and go down to the presentation, you'll see the piece that I originally made. So I'm going to flip the camera around. So give me a second here, guys. And I'm going to flip us around. And put you in my tripod here. So this is the project that I made for the original presentation. And I have to say, admittedly, this was not my best work. I came up with some really fun things for the mantras, but this one I'm not extremely proud of. But I accepted the challenge and I made something and I mixed metals, so I satisfied it. So let me tell you what's going on here and my thought process. So I chose 3 metallic tones of SilverSilk capture chain. So I've got a bright silver, I've got a bright gold, and I've got an antique brass. And all of those go very, very nicely together in a woven pattern. Now, I am a terrible braider. If you want good braiding advice, Nilay's got a bunch of amazing braided pieces with SilverSilk, and you can find videos of those on either YouTube or his Facebook page. But I braided them together, And then because I had a chunky, a chunky strand here, I needed a focal. And so I used this really cool slide pendant that I had, and it's in an antique brass, and it's really sort of a fun geometric, and it slid nicely over the braided strand. So I've got the antique gold or the antique brass coming in and kind of blending in with these tones. Then I introduced this cool vintage chain. Now, I picked this chain because it actually sort of is a chain-ish version of SilverSilk. It's round and it's kind of a box. So if a round box chain is a thing, that's what this is. But the vintage chain is really, really cool and has this kind of a connection point. So what I did was I used some of my own crimp findings. And look, there's a boo-boo there. But I used some of my crimp findings. These crimp components are very readily accessible out in the world. I didn't have exactly what I needed from Nile at the time, so I just improvised and used these, and they tied back to the antique brass in the pendant. Now, to bring the silver in, I used some nice shiny jump rings in silver tone, so that kind of matches up to the silver here. Now, this is an over-the-head necklace, so this chain did not require a clasp. So in order to maybe bring some more silver in, if I had used a different kind of chain, I would have used a silver tone clasp. And that would have really brought sort of that mixed metal vibe all the way through the project and balanced it out. But I think this is a great representation of mixed metals, and I had fun making it, even though my braid work is not so great. But this is the first project that I made. Now, today we're going to make a new project, and this is a super easy project, guys. I think Nile's actually done a little something like this before, so this isn't like terribly creative on my part, but these earrings are so beautiful and fun and a super easy project. The only thing you're going to need from a tool perspective are some cutters. You might want a flat nose plier at the end to put the ear wire on, but check these out. So we are going to be using 3 strands of different metallic SilverSilk capture chain. And we're going to be using a really cool slide component and some ear wires. So I'm going to show you how to make them. I'm going to set this one off to the side so you can reference that as we're working through it. Now, what I picked for my SilverSilk colors are, first of all, this. I think this is my favorite. This is absolutely gorgeous, rich color. This is solid antique copper capture chain. So there's an antique copper ball chain inside this lovely antique copper mesh. So beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous, rich color. The next one I used is solid antique brass. And this is also a capture chain with antique copper, or I'm sorry, antique brass ball chain in the center. So it's absolutely cool. Lovely, rich tone. And then I used a pearlesque capture chain in metallic copper. And this, oh my gosh, I think it's so bright and beautiful. So these 3 colors together are divine. So I'm filming this in late October, so fall is in full swing, and I am super inspired by all the fall colors. So look at that trio of colors. It's so stunning. So we're going to use those 3 colors. And for this project, I pre-cut my pieces. So let me show you really quick what I did. So I've got 2 of each here that I cut, and I used my cutters for that. I cut 4.5 inches of the longest piece, which I chose for my longest piece, the solid antique copper. You can choose whatever you like. Maybe you want to do a different color, or if you want this same colorway, you could do it in a different order. I cut 3.5 inches of the solid antique brass. And then I cut 3 and just shy of 1/4 inches of the metallic copper pearlesque chain. Okay. So we're going to be using those. And then we're going to be using this fun tube slide component. Now, I've seen Nile use these before, and I think at one point he actually had these on his site. I don't see them there now, so you may want to nudge him if you would like to purchase these, but they're pretty available out there in the world, guys. So I don't remember where I got mine, but they're pretty available. And what they are is just a hollow tube with a slit down the center and a bail on top. So you see that? And both ends open with a little flap like that. You can see that little flap. And these are perfect for sliding in ball chain. You can also use cup chain and other materials, but you really need something thin that can fit in that slit. And then you close it up, and then you've got a way to hang this. It's a great component for a multi-strand piece because you can slide in multiples. And these do come in different sizes. So if you're looking for them, this is a pretty long one. Let me see how long this one is. This one's actually an inch long. So we can fit quite a bit in here. So what we're going to do to prepare for that is we're going to take our cutters, which is really the only tool you need, and we're going to trim off the mesh around that first ball on our on the ball chain. Now you want to be careful if you get a little too I don't know, brawny with it. You could potentially cut off that ball, that first ball, but we want to expose that so that we can slide that into our slide component. And I'm going to be very careful here. So we're going to get that guy off. And I have to be very careful because I have a tendency to over trim. And I think I may have over trimmed that one just a touch, but we're going to do some cleanup with that in a minute. And we're going to make a ton of wire fuzzies on our workspace. So I love Nile's wire fuzzy term, but we're gonna make some of those. And I like to do this process first instead of trying to do it while I'm actually adding all of the pieces on, because then assembly of this project becomes very easy. Okay, and I'm on my next color. And I truly love these colors for fall. But I do think it could work any time of year. I mean, there are no rules. And we should make a mantra that there's like no rules. Maybe that'll be our next mantra series if we do another. If Nile's not too tired of me. And I think, you could also use this, the slide component and some mixed metallic SilverSilk and make a bracelet. You would just add a clasp to the end. So that's another, sort of application of this same sort of project. Now, cutting the pearlesque chain is a little bit tougher just because you've got that extra layer of the sparkle in there. So just so you're aware of that. And almost got it all here. Now, Oh, I got one more. Okay, one more here, guys. This is a little bit like watching paint dry. Sorry about that. Have a little bit of a metallic fuzzy now on my workstation. All right, now I'm sure that Nile probably has a way of making our ends look a little bit nicer. But to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't worry about that too much. So what I do to prepare my pieces to go into my project is I just sort of manipulate what's left there, kind of press it in, go around both ends. And if I still need to do a little bit of cutting, I can. So just kind of doing some cleanup to get these ready to go. And I actually thought of an idea this morning of maybe a way to do some additional finishing on this. And I think I'm going to cover that in our last mantra, which if you read ahead for our last mantra, we're going to be talking about finishing pieces, and it's all about sort of stretching yourself to make your pieces look a little bit more professional. So let me get my fuzzies out of the way, and I no longer need my cutter. I need my tube. Now we're going to start with our longest piece. And this is as simple as it is, guys. You're going to take that ball and slide it right into that channel. Okay. And let your other end hang. You're going to take your next longest piece, slide that in. And then you're going to take your shortest piece and slide that in. Okay. And then I'm going to hold these towards the end. So I'm just going to keep my thumb there, keep them secure. And I'm going to fold my shortest piece over into a U and push that in. Going to take my my middle piece and do the same. And I want to hold on to those because they'll pop right out. And then my longest piece. And then check this out, holding on to these. All I'm going to do with that little flap is press it with my finger. Now it's going to probably be about 80%, and then you can press it in like so. Now this one, I think I may have cut my longest piece just a tad too long. So I'm actually going to fix that. Let me see if I can actually open up that end. Sorry, got the camera bouncing around there. So I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to cut off just a little touch of that guy. I'm going to cut off 2 pieces, and I did not put my thumb over that, so those little pieces just went flying. I'm sure my cats will be here any minute to check that out. All right, so let's do that again because I want to make sure we get this a good match for our other earring. And I can show you the what not to do. I think that's better. Actually, still might be a little bit too big. So let me cut off. A couple, 2 more. I think I may have been a little off in my measurement when I cut these this morning, probably before I had my second cup of coffee. And I've had about 3 cups of coffee since then, so I'm a little wired up. So let me trim off my fuzzies. Didn't do that. I'd love for you guys to think about how you're going to challenge yourself with mixed metals. Ah, that's perfect. All right, so I'm going to press that back down and then push that onto the table. Now, you might need to do a little bit more cleanup. So as you can see, my piece of pearlesque chain has just a little bit of metallic sticking out. Now, this is where I'm saying this doesn't look perfect up here, but you might be able to take some wire through this here and sort of give yourself some cool wire accents. And we'll maybe play with that when we do our finishing mantra. But the last thing that you're going to need to do is add your ear wire, guys. So it's just that's how simple this project is. Just going to add our ear wire. And I chose, so because I had my mixed metals challenge here, I chose an antique brass French hook. And I've got my 3 metallic tones of SilverSilk, and I've got my bright gold slide component. So I'm going to bring my other one over, and I'm going to finesse this one a little bit. So many fuzzies. So that's the look. That's the pair of earrings that we made. So simple, so beautiful. And I actually think these are like the perfect fall earrings. So I can't wait to put these on. So I'm going to put them on right now. So let me turn my camera around. So bear with me a moment, guys. Flip the camera around. Okay, sorry about that. So these are my new earrings. So I'm going to take off my other fall earrings I'm wearing. I'm trying to represent. So I live in Arizona and we don't really have fall here. So these are going to be perfect. I'm trying to have fall in my jewelry, but these are going to be perfect for my fall adventures. In Arizona, we like to call it fall. Anyways, that's what those look like. And I think they're really cool. So they're a little bit big. So again, like you can try to make something in a variation. You could use a shorter tube and maybe only a couple of SilverSilk strands. You can do whatever you want, but I'm hoping that you guys will take this mantra challenge. So we always tell you at the end of our videos that we would love for you to make something mixed metal in this case and post it to the SilverSilkies page using hashtag SilverSilkMantra and show us what you've done with mixed metals. And by the way, I have on silver studs in my second earring hole. So I've got the full mixed metal here, the full mixed metal look. So yeah, fun. So try it out, you guys. And coming up next, our next video is for mantra number 9, and it's called Color Your World. So if you want to read ahead, go to the presentation on the SilverSilk website, or just be surprised when we meet again. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Nile, for having me. Go ahead and try out that mantra, everyone.